Welcome back, friends. We'll continue our study of the natural vegetation in this part 2, and here we are going to study the types of natural vegetation in detail. In the previous lecture, you people got an idea of how the natural vegetation is distributed in India. Now we will study the type of a natural vegetation, what are the climatic conditions associated, some important species, the name of which I will give, and these are the names. You should note it down very properly, and some of the important states in which this natural vegetation is found. Take out your atlas, have a look at the states I give, and see these questions are here are very simple, very generalized. The only thing is you just should have an idea of the map of India, and thus it will help you in solving the natural vegetation. I will start again repeating what we did in the previous lecture, that is the natural vegetation in India consists of tropical evergreen and the semi-evergreen forest. Then it consists of the tropical deciduous forest. It includes dry deciduous and the moist deciduous region. Then it includes tropical thorn forest. Tropical thorn forest comes in both the parts. Then it includes mountain forest and littoral and swamp forest. It includes the littoral and the swamp forest. So this is the general idea for the natural vegetation in India. Now first we are going to study in India what are that is the first topic, that is the tropical evergreen and the semi-evergreen forest. You can see this forest, tropical evergreen and the semi-evergreen forest, lie in the areas of very heavy rainfall. So they lie in these regions of heavy rainfall. So they lie in the regions of a very heavy rainfall. So let us study in detail this forest. So the tropical evergreen and the semi-evergreen forest. Evergreen and semi-evergreen forest. Now one thing, you also note down whenever I tell some important point, if I am stressing on some points, make sure that it gets fed in your memory and you note down that point. We will first start with the study of the tropical evergreen forest, and then we will study the tropical semi-evergreen forest. Now, where are this tropical evergreen and the semi-evergreen forest found? The tropical evergreen and the semi-evergreen forests are found in the regions of heavy rainfall. That is the regions which receive more than 200 centimeters of average annual rainfall. You will have tropical evergreen and the semi-evergreen forest. But in this, the tropical evergreen forest, the distribution it is found, or the climate required here is when rainfall exceeds, or the rainfall is greater than 250 centimeters. Rainfall is greater than the 250 centimeters, that is the rainfall exceeds 257 centimeters. Then this should have high range of annual temperatures, high annual temperature. High range of annual temperature. How much high? The temperature should be around 25 to 27 degrees Celsius. 25 degrees Celsius to 27 degrees Celsius. Then the third criteria is, these are the regions which should have high humidity. High humidity. Which exceeds 77% of humidity. It should exceed the amount of humidity, that is, which should exceed 77% of humidity. Now, why are these known as evergreen forest? There are two conditions which are required for the growth of vegetation. Generally, these are two conditions, especially in the tropical regions or anywhere in the world. One of the input for the growth of vegetation, if this is a vegetation, where for vegetation growth, that is VG, two inputs are required. One is temperature. and the other is moisture. And the other is moisture. If there is a high temperature throughout the year and high moisture throughout the year, the trees in such conditions grow throughout the year. If this is a land, the trees are getting high amount of moisture, the trees are getting high amount of temperature. Why the tree is getting high amount of moisture? Because the average annual rainfall is high. Because of high annual temperature, the second input, that is the temperature, is also very high, and therefore the trees grow throughout the year. Because the trees grow throughout the year, therefore the forest looks evergreen. On other hand, if the moisture is not available, if this moisture is not available, the trees which are here in this region, they will start shedding their leaves. So the trees look bare in the regions of no moisture. If this is the branch, the tree will look bare in the region of no sufficient moisture. We call such bare trees which shed their leaves or which throw away their leaves. Why do they shed their leaves? Because they have to conserve moisture. The leaves, through the process of evapotranspiration, that is evaporation and transpiration, will lose the water content, and because there is no water throughout the year, the trees have to shed their leaves during the month of the dry summer season, that is during the month when the water is less. Such the trees in Hindi are known as patjhad, patte jhad dena, or in English these are known as deciduous trees. So this trees, deciduous trees, during the dry season look bare, look naked. But on the other hand, the evergreen trees, during the all throughout the year, they are full of leaves, and therefore they are known as evergreen. They are known as evergreen. So due to high amount of humidity and high amount of moisture, the trees grow throughout the year, because both the two inputs are available. The trees grow throughout the year. These regions have growing season throughout the year. They have the growing season throughout the year. So these trees do not shed their leaves altogether at the same time, because some trees have one different growing season, some trees have different other growing season, and therefore the growing season is throughout the year. Therefore the region, the trees look evergreen. And hence we call this as evergreen forest. Hence we call this forest as evergreen forest. Hence we call this forest as an evergreen forest. So repeat with me. Rainfall is high, humidity and temperature is high. So the growing season lasts throughout the year, and therefore these forests are known as an evergreen forest. Now this tropical evergreen trees, how they are, let us look. There is high amount of growing season throughout the year. Therefore, the productivity or the productivity of this biome, that is a tropical evergreen biome, which is also found in the equatorial regions. Why? Because the equatorial regions receive rainfall throughout the year is very, very high. And as a result, the trees, यहाँ पे there is a competition among the trees, because the trees are growing throughout the year. There is a competition for water, and also because the leaves are evergreen. Through leaves, which process operates? Through that process, the trees intake carbon dioxide and give out oxygen. That process is known as the process of photosynthesis. So because the process of the photosynthesis require high amount of sunlight, so the trees यहाँ पे, because there is a competition for the sunlight, the tree grows for a very greater height. The trees are grow at a greater height. Now all the trees in this region obviously cannot reach the greater height. There are some of the trees which grow up to a lesser height. There are some of the trees which grow up to a lesser height. So if you look from the top, from a plane, you will see as if this area has a thick layer, thick carpet, thick canopy of the trees. Why? Because the growing season is there throughout the year, and hence the trees look evergreen. So now here, so this biggest tree have maximum amount of sunlight. Uske baad the red color trees, then the sunlight does not reach the ground, and because the sunlight here does not reach the ground, the undergrowth, that is the grasses which grow, they are not very, or the undergrowth is not extremely dense, because the trees cannot reach the ground. So therefore, because the sunlight cannot reach the ground, the undergrowth is not very dense. It has a very sparse undergrowth, or the undergrowth, that is the growth from the ground, is not well developed. Or less. So in this region, why the undergrowth is sparse or less? Because the sunlight does not reach the ground, and because the sunlight does not reach the ground, what is the source of food for the trees? It is the photosynthesis. Sunlight is not reaching the ground, no photosynthesis. So therefore, the undergrowth is very dense in such regions. But in this region, in some of the areas where there are some of the trees which cannot grow up to a greater height, they cannot undertake photosynthesis, but they have to survive. So how they have adopted, there are some of the trees here which have become, they grow underground, but they have become carnivorous. They eat insects. They have become carnivorous plants. So here you will have the presence of a carnivorous plants. The best example of a carnivorous plant is pitcher plant. The best example of a carnivorous plant is a pitcher plant. Is pitcher plant. So in this region there is a pitcher plant. Now you see one more interesting fact. So in this region also there are some of the trees which cannot grow up to greater height. They also do not become carnivorous, maybe because they believe more in herbivore. They cannot adopt themselves to become a carnivorous plant. So as a result of this, the trees then start climbing on other bigger trees, and they reach upwards to get photosynthesis. So as a result, they start climbing on the bigger trees, and they reach upwards to get photosynthesis. So the fourth criteria of this is, this region is rich in creepers. And the creepers, in our geography we will call them as epiphytes. So this region, the tropical evergreen forest region, or the evergreen forest region, is rich in creepers, or in the epiphytic plants. These are the plants which climb on the larger trees. So how is the nature of this area? The nature of this area is that it is extremely dense, and therefore because it is extremely dense, the people cannot go and live in this region. This jungles cannot be exploited for human resource, because the trees are extremely dense and the trees are evergreen. Numerous species grow in this region, and therefore the evergreen forest anywhere in the world are known as the lungs of the world, because they take out maximum number of carbon dioxide and give out oxygen. For example, in the Amazon river region along the equator, in the African region along the equator. This tropical evergreen forest is found everywhere jaha there is a tropical type of a climate, yeah, equatorial type of a climate, that is between 0 to 10 degree north and 0 to 10 degrees south. Why it is found? Because we know in the equatorial regions the sun rays are more or less vertical, and therefore the heat is high. This region receives rainfall every day throughout the year because of thunderstorms or convectional rainfall. So the moisture is high, and therefore the trees are, or the forests are, evergreen and extremely dense. You can see from my diagram, it consists of one layer which is of a top layer, then the middle layer, then the ground layer, which is very less, but there can be a presence of carnivorous plants. So we say that it is undergrowth is less dense or sparse, and it also consists of creepers or epiphytes, that it climbs on the other part, that is it climbs on this other trees. So can I say that in this region the tropical evergreen forests are extremely dense? These are extremely dense and arranged in different layers. So can I say that these are stratified, these are arranged in different layers? That means they are well stratified. That means they are well stratified. So these are well stratified, that means they are arranged in different layers. The other example here is, the other peculiarity is presence of epiphytes or climbers in this region. Presence of epiphytes or climbers in this region. Then also it has sparse undergrowth. It has sparse undergrowth. Why? Why the sparse undergrowth? Because the sunlight does not reach the ground. Because the sunlight does not reach the ground. These are extremely dense forests. Now, this is well stratified, means some of the trees here are so tall, they have extremely tall trees. Then the tallest trees exceed in height, having height greater than 60 meters. So some of the trees are very tall, having height greater than the 60 meters in height, that is crossing 60 meters in height. Some trees are the middle trees, some trees are very less trees. Now, what about the area? What about the, if I clear this jungle, if this is a jungle made up of different layers of the trees, they are spreading out. This is the tropical evergreen forest. We know that this is made up of different layers of the trees. Now, one thing you know about the tropical evergreen forest is that it receives very heavy rainfall. What are these I have drawn? These are the trees. Now, what if I cut out the trees? Some portion of this forest, I clear the forest. What will be the growth in this region? Will this soil will be very fertile, or will this soil support another luxurious vegetation, or will it not support a luxurious vegetation? Now, if you clear this forest, why these forests are very important? Why this forest, which are known as the rainforest of the world, which are known as the lungs of the world, they are so important that we should stop them from deforestation. We should conserve them, because once we clear this forest, then once we clear this forest, this is the region of very heavy rain. And as the rainfall is very heavy, because of very heavy rainfall, we will see in the soils chapter, that a process known as leaching operates. Leaching means, if this is the layer of the soil, that is, this is the top layer of the soil, it is having different nutrients. Because of very heavy rainfall, most of the nutrients from the top layer of the soil is washed away by the water, and the soil becomes red in color, because almost all the nutrients are washed away, and the topsoil is rich only in iron and aluminium. And the trees always grow on the top soil region. The trees always grow on the top soil region. So this iron and aluminium does not support good growth of the trees, because these are the soils in this region, in the tropical regions, because of the process of leaching, becomes deficient in nutrients. That means it becomes a poor soil because of very heavy rainfall. So on clearing the forest, remember, due to heavy rainfall, what operates in this region? Leaching operates in this region. The process of leaching operates. What is this process of leaching? We will do that in the soil chapter, and therefore the soil becomes poor in nutrients. Can you just survive on iron and aluminium? No. Similarly, the soils also cannot just survive on iron, aluminium. They require zinc, they require phosphorus, they require some micronutrients, they require some macronutrients. And what are these micro and macronutrients? Again, I am not teaching here environment ecology. Do look in the environment ecology section. That is, what is macronutrients, what are micronutrients. So this soil is poor in nutrients, and therefore the jungle is not dense at all. The jungle is not dense at all. Now in India, where are these forests found? In India, where are these forests found in India? Now, to answer this question, you just have to do nothing but open the map of rainfall in India. That is, we have done it. I have given you the page on the NCERT. So open that map and you will see the heavy rainfall, that is greater than 250 centimeters of average annual rainfall, occurs on the western side of the Western Ghats. It occurs in the Arunachal Pradesh region. You can see that a dark black color line was there in the map. Arunachal Pradesh region, in the upper Assam region, in the Nagaland, Manipur, Mizoram, Tripura region, and in Andaman and Nicobar Islands. So in India, just repeat with me, regions of very heavy rainfall. So where this region in India, these forests are found on the Western Ghat region. But which side of the Western Ghat? Eastern side or the western side of the Western Ghat? Which area receives very heavy rainfall in India? The western side of the Western Ghats and the northeast India, especially Arunachal Pradesh, यहाँ पे Manipur, Mizoram, Tripura, this region. So this is found on the western side of the Western Ghats. Western side of the Western Ghats, south of Mumbai, up to tip of India, that is the entire state of Kerala. Second, remember, although Arunachal Pradesh is higher up, but Arunachal Pradesh receives heavy rainfall. Arunachal Pradesh has extremely different type of a climate. Arunachal Pradesh is one of the biodiversity hotspot region because you will see that it has evergreen forest. You will see it has semi-evergreen forest. It has a moist deciduous forest. That is the Northeast India, Eastern Himalayas. So that is the Arunachal Pradesh, or we can say the northeastern part of India, which includes Arunachal, which includes the state of Upper Assam, Nagaland, Manipur, Mizoram, Tripura, which includes Upper Assam. Upper Assam means if we see the Brahmaputra Valley region, if we see this is the Arunachal Pradesh region, Arunachal Pradesh is the red shaded part. This is the state of Arunachal Pradesh, while the upper part of river Brahmaputra, this is the Upper Assam region. Then comes the Lower Assam region. So the Upper Assam region, Manipur, Mizoram, Nagaland, Tripura, Nagaland, Manipur, Mizoram, Tripura. Now this is too much of actual data. How to remember this? Remember Arunachal Pradesh and the states of Northeast. When I say Arunachal Pradesh, which part of the Himalaya is it? Eastern Himalaya or the Western Himalaya? This is the Himalayas. Is it an Eastern Himalayas or the Western Himalayas? That means the Eastern Himalayas. Eastern Himalayas. When I say Nagaland, Manipur, Mizoram, that means the Purvanchal Hills or the Eastern Hill Complex, which we did from Patkai to Lushai Mountains. That is all this region. And the third part, do not forget one of the most biodiversity hotspot, that is the Andaman and Nicobar Islands. So the third part is Andaman and Nicobar Islands. It is found in the Andaman and Nicobar Island region. So where in India? In India, on the western side of the Western Ghat, in the southern part. So obviously it includes the state of Kerala. Then Northeast India, repeat with me, Arunachal Pradesh, Upper Assam region, the Purvanchal Hills or the Eastern Hill Complex, that is the Nagaland, Manipur, Mizoram. If you want to remember Tripura, you remember. If you do not want to remember, don't worry, the questions will be focused on a generalized nature, that is the Eastern Himalayas or the state of Arunachal Pradesh or the state of Kerala, and lastly the state of Andaman, the Union Territory of Andaman and Nicobar. That is, this is the region of very heavy rainfall. That is why I say, as you are studying this natural vegetation with me, open the NCERT ka climate, the annual rainfall ka map, and then you will be able to keep it more in mind. You will be able to remember it. Now, what about the important species of this region? The important species, this important species which I am doing. The important species which are found in this are the tree species, not the animal species. We are not doing the fauna. We are doing we are not doing the animals. We are doing only the trees of this region. So the important species here is rosewood, mahogany, rosewood, mahogany, ebony, and one of must be your favorite, that is a versatile bamboo, which can grow in any regions. Bamboo. These are the important species of the tropical evergreen. Remember, these are also the species of tropical semi-evergreen region. So, evergreen region, regions of very heavy rainfall. Evergreen region, regions of high humidity. Well stratified, arranged in different layers, dominance of very high trees, जिनका height is greater than 60 meters, then made up of regions of epiphytes, climbers, and the carnivorous trees, sparse undergrowth. In India, in the western side, include from the state of Kerala, Kanyakumari region to the south of Mumbai, not Mumbai or not to the northern part of Western Ghats, that is the southern part of Western Ghats. See here, I am not taking it to the point. Then the northeastern India, including Arunachal Pradesh. Why I am stressing on Arunachal Pradesh? Because the location of the Arunachal Pradesh is high, but still it has a tropical evergreen forest, and then the eastern hill complex, and lastly the biodiversity rich region of Andaman and Nicobar areas. And therefore, in India, there are two biodiversity hotspots. One is Western Ghat region and one is the Himalayas. Why Himalayas is there? We will see that Himalayas is a confluence zone of many different natural vegetation areas, different climatic region areas, and therefore यहाँ पे different types of natural vegetations and the animals which are adjusted to that natural vegetation are found. So it is also a biodiversity hotspot region. Now let us look at the tropical semi-evergreen forest. Obviously, the semi-evergreen means the mixture of evergreen trees and deciduous trees. So, or the dominant or the mixture of some trees which can grow throughout the year, or the some trees which cannot grow throughout the year. That is why the word we say is semi-evergreen. Now, where will be these regions found? The semi-evergreen forests are found in the less rainier part of these regions, that is surrounding the evergreen forest, but jahan pe you will get less rainfall, you will find semi-evergreen trees. So these forests are found in the regions receiving around 200 to 250 centimeters of average annual rain. Of annual rainfall. So what is the point you should remember? 200 से 250 centimeters of average annual rainfall. So even this region have high relative humidity, even this region have high temperature, but the rainfall is between 200 to 250 centimeters. Now these regions have a mixture of evergreen and the moist deciduous trees. These are the mixture of evergreen and moist deciduous trees. And the moist deciduous trees. Now, where are they found? These are found in the Western Ghat region. They are found. You do not have to do much. What I am doing is more than enough. These are found in the Western Ghat region. These are found in the Eastern Himalayas. That is the lower part of the Eastern Himalayas. Remember what we are doing? Only the eastern Himalayas. Western Himalayas, that is the state of Jammu Kashmir, Uttarakhand, Himachal Pradesh, do not get a heavy rainfall. So not in that region. So they are found in the eastern Himalayas, in the Andaman and Nicobar Islands. Is not Kerala beautiful? It is known as, is it not? Or is it? It is very beautiful. The next, our favorite destination is Andaman Nicobar Islands. Many people want to go to the Northeast India. Maybe they go or do not go. That is a different question. But beauty in India, natural beauty, we say Himalayas. But which eastern Himalayas more? If you want to talk about the dense vegetation. But if you want to see the bare slopes of the mountains, then it is the western Himalayas. What I am seeing, bare slopes of mighty Himalayas, western Himalayas. Natural vegetation, eastern Himalayas. Then western Ghat region itself is rich in natural vegetation. You have many hill stations right from Lonavala, Khandala to Ooty, to Annamalai, to to the Kurg region, to the Munnar region. Then the one of the most important destination is Andaman Nicobar Islands. When I say these three regions, it means green. So evergreen and the semi-evergreen forest of this region. So why is this green? Because of the evergreen and the semi-evergreen forest of this region. Yaha also there are epiphytes because there is a presence of evergreen trees, and yaha also there is a presence of bamboo. So the important species in this region is bamboo. Then the other important species is in this region is white cedar. White cedar. So white cedar, semi-evergreen forest. Repeat with me. White cedar, semi-evergreen forest. Rosewood, mahogany, ebony, then evergreen forest. Ebony, mahogany, all this which are ending with Y. Remember evergreen forest. White cedar is the semi-evergreen forest region. And the other is Hullock and Kale. Hullock and Kale. Hullock and Kale. Now, how to remember this? Here there is no shortcut to remember. Remember, bamboo can grow in deciduous, in the evergreen, so bamboo will be present everywhere. Remember, white cedar, Hullock and Kale are of semi-evergreen. That means the UPSC can ask you question that where in which state is the white cedar found. You remember any state of Northeast India. Where will be the kale found? The states of the Northeast India. So these are the regions where you will find this regions. Now in NCERT there is a word which is given that the Britishers were aware of the economic value of this forest, and therefore in the Kumaon Garhwal region of Uttarakhand they cleared this forest and they replaced this region by pine for the construction, and they also introduced the coffee plantations, tea plantations in the Northeast India by clearing this forest region. So don't worry about this too much. Remember, one important species which is found in this region is mango is also found in this region. Mango is also found in this region. Now, mango is found in this region, but mango is found everywhere. So I do not generally like to remember mango because mango is found in even in the deciduous forest region. So a question especially on mango won't come. So what about semi-evergreen and evergreen forest? These are the forests which are found in the regions of very heavy rainfall. Semi-evergreen is a mixture of evergreen and the moist deciduous. Important species here are rosewood, ebony, mahogany. In Kerala region, if the question comes in which region of India, that is in which state of India, you will find a carnivorous plant. If one option is Kerala, second option is Andhra Pradesh, third option is uh, is Haryana, and the fourth option is West Bengal. So you know where pitcher plant, evergreen forest region, region of very heavy rainfall, and that region of very heavy rainfall is the Kerala region. So you will have to answer it this way. What is क्या खासियत है यहाँ की? Presence of climbers or epiphytes is the important characteristics of this forest. Now let us come to the next forest, that is the deciduous type of a forest. Deciduous type of a forest. So the deciduous type of a forest, again the tropical deciduous forests are found tropical deciduous forest. Now there are two ways of the tropical deciduous forest. One is moist deciduous and other is the dry deciduous forest region. I will continue in the next lecture. Let me take a break. So I'll continue in this next lecture and we will again repeat it. Thank you very much.